Good morning to all. I am Vinodini. In this video, we are going to see about TQM tools and techniques. First, we are going to see about quality function development, that is QFD. Quality function development is a system for translating customer requirement into appropriate requirements at every stage, from research through product design and development to the manufacture, distribution, installation, and marketing, sales, and service. The main objective of QFD is to identify the true voice of the customer and to use this knowledge to develop the product which satisfies the customer. To help in the organization and analysis of all the relevant information associated with the project. In short, QFD aims to translate the customer voice or requirement into the product specification. QFD is a team-based management tool. Here, customer expectations are used to drive the product development process. In a typical QFD application, a cross-functional team creates and analyzes a matrix linking customers' wants and needs to a set product and service design matrix that the company can then measure and control. The process of QFD is first product planning, product process planning, and process control. In product planning, the customers' requirements are measured. After that, using that customer requirement, we have to design the requirement or parts or item characteristics. After that process operation will be held. Finally, operation requirements are measured. QFD has 4 phases. First, product planning, next, product development, next, process planning, and final, production planning. In product planning, a list of customer requirements, that is what's, is measured. Then, list of technical descriptors, how. Now, develop a relationship between what and how, and develop an interrelationship between matrix how. Do competitive assessment. Next, develop prioritized customer requirement and the technical descriptors. In phase 2, that is part developer, deploy QFD process down to sub-component level both in terms of requirement and characteristics. Next, deploy the component development chart related the critical sub-component control characteristics. In phase 3, that is process planning, develop the relationship between the critical characteristics and process used to create the characteristics. Develop the control plan relating critical control to the critical processing. The last phase is the production planning. In this, tabulate the operating instructions from process requirement, then develop a prototype and do test, then launch the final product to the market. These are the phases that is in the QFD. Next, House of Quality. House of Quality is the graphical tool for defining the relationship between the customer desire and the frame of a product capability. It is a part of QFD and it will utilize a planning matrix to relate the customer what to how a frame is going to meet those wants. The primary planning tool used in QFD is the House of Quality. A House of Quality converts the voice of customer into the product design characteristics. QFD uses a series of matrix diagrams, also called as quality tables, that resembles the connected house. The house having 6 sections. First section, customer requirement. Second one is the prioritized customer requirement. Third one is the technical description. Fourth one is the relationship matrix. Fifth is the trade-off matrix. Sixth is the prioritized technical description. First session, customer requirements. In this, the exterior wall of the house or the customer requirements. On the left hand side, the voice of the customer, that is what the customer expects from the product, is listed. Then second session, on the right hand side, the priority customer requirements or planning matrix are listed. Some of the listed items includes customer benchmarking, customer importance rating, target value, scale up factor and scales point. Third one is the technical description. The second floor or a ceiling of a house containing the technical descriptors. Product design characteristics expressed in engineered terms are located in the ceiling. The interior wall of the house or the relationship between customer requirement and the technical descriptor. The relationship matrix correlates customer requirement with the product characteristics. Trade-off matrix. The root of house is the interrelationship between the technical descriptors. That is, trade-off between similar and or conflict technical descriptors are identified. Next, sixth one is the prioritized technical descriptor. The foundation of the house is the prioritized technical descriptors. Some of the items includes are the technical benchmarking, degree of technical difficulty and target value. Benefit of QFD. It improves the customer satisfaction, reduces the implementation time, promotes the teamwork and provides the documentation. The next topic we are going to see is Takeuchi quality loss function. Takeuchi methods are a statistical method developed largely by Junichi Takeuchi to improve the quality of manufactured goods. Takeuchi loss function is a way to show how each non-perfect part produced result in a loss for the company. Deming states that it shows a minimal loss at a nominal value and an ever increasing loss with departure either way for nominal values. Takeuchi defines the quality as the loss impact by the product to society from the time the product is shipped. This loss includes cost of operation, failures to function, maintenance and repair cost, customer dissatisfaction, injuries caused by poor designs and similar cost. Defect products or parts that are detected, repaired, reworked or scrapped before shipment are not considered part of this loss. The essence of the loss function is that whenever a product deviates from its target performance, it generates losses to a society. This loss is minimum when performance is right on target, but it grows gradually as one deviates from the target. Therefore, loss function philosophy says that for a manufacturer, the best strategy is to produce a close to the target as possible rather than aiming at beginning with a specification. Quality loss occurs when a product deviates from a target to a nominal value. Deviation grows, then losses increase. Here, Takeuchi U-shaped loss function curve is shown in the figure. Next, common quality loss function. It has three types: nominal the best, smaller the better, larger the better. Nominal the best. Although Takeuchi developed so many loss functions, many situations are appropriated by the quadratic function, which is called the nominal the best type. The quadratic function is shown in the first figure. In this situation, the loss occurs as soon as performance characteristics y depart from the target tau. At tau, the losses is rupees 0. At LSL or USL, the losses is rupees A. Second, smaller the better. The target value for smaller the better is 0. There are no negative value for the performance characteristics. The third one is the larger the better. In a larger the better concept, the target value is infinity, which gives a 0 loss. There are no negative value and the worst case is at y equal to 0. Actually, a larger the better is a reciprocal of smaller the better. The performance characteristics in larger the better are bond strength of adhesive and welding strength, etc. Next topic is the total productive maintenance, TPM. TPM is the partnership between the maintenance and production organization to improve product quality, reduce waste, reduce cost, increase equipment availability, and improve maintenance state. Total productive maintenance is a systematic excursion of maintenance by all employees through small group activities. The dual goal of TPM are zero breakdowns and zero defect. TPM improves equipment efficiency rates and reduces cost. It also minimizes inventory cost associated with spare parts. TPM is concerned with the fundamental rethink of business operations to achieve improvement in cost, quality, speed, etc. The objective of TQM is to improve the equipment effectiveness, to achieve the autonomous maintenance, to plan maintenance, to train all staffs in relevant maintenance skill, to zero breakdowns. The basic concept of TPM is that everyone from the operator to the top management is responsible for the maintenance activities. Under TPM, operators no longer limit themselves to simplify using the machine and calling the technician when the breakdown occurs. Operators can inspect, clean, lubricant, adjust, and even perform simple calibration on their respective equipment. In TPM, management should also show interest in data concerning equipment uptime, utilization, and efficiency. Everyone understands that zero breakdown, zero defect, and maximum productivity are goals to be shared by everyone under TPM. TPM cannot implement overnight. Normally, it takes an organization at least 2 years to set an effective TPM system in place. Activities carried out in small teams with specific tasks. Every level in the overall organization must be represented by a team or more. The steps of TPMs are: management should learn the new philosophy of TPM and promotes the new philosophy of TPM. Training should be funded and developed for everyone in the organization. Areas which have to need to improvements are identified. Losses measurement to identify improved needs are downtime losses, reduced speed losses, poor quality losses. Performance goals should be formulated. An implementation plan should be developed. Autonomous work group should be established. Now we are going to see about TPM pillars. There are 8 pillars in TPM. First pillar is autonomous maintenance. In this pillar is geared towards developing operators to be able to take care of small maintenance tasks, thus freeing up the skilled maintained people to spend times on more value-added activities and technical repairs. The operators are responsible for upkeep of their equipment to prevent from the destroyed. Pillar 2, Kaizen. Kaizen, Kei means change and Zen means good. Basically, Kaizen is for small improvement but carried out on a continuous basis and involve all the people in organization. Kaizen is opposite to a big spectacular innovations. Kaizen requires no or little investment. The principle behind is that a very large number of small improvement are more effective in an organizational environment than a few improvement of large value. This pillar is aimed at reducing losses in the workplace that affects our efficiency. By using a detailed and through procedure, we eliminate losses in a schematic method using various Kaizen tools. Pillar 3 is planned maintenance. It is aimed to have trouble-free machines and equipments producing defect-free product for total customer satisfaction. This breaks maintenance down into 4 families or groups, that are preventive maintenance, breakdown maintenance, corrective maintenance, maintenance prevention. With planned maintenance, we evolve our effort from a reactive to a proactive method and use trained maintenance staff to help train the operator to better maintenance their equipment. Fourth pillar is the quality maintenance. It is aimed towards customer delight through highest quality through defect-free manufacture. Focused is on eliminating non-conformance in a systematic manner. Much like focused improvement, we gain understanding of what part of the equipment affect part quality and begin to eliminate current quality concern, then move to a potential quality concern. Fifth pillar is the development management. Yearly management or development management helps in drastically reducing the time taken to receive, install and set up newly purchased equipments. Yearly management can also be used for reducing the time for manufacture a new product in a factory. Pillar 6 is the training and education. It is aimed to have multi-skilled, revitalized employees whose morale is high and who are eager to come to work and perform all requirement function effectively and independently. Education is given to operator to upgrade their skills. It is not sufficient only know how, but they should also learn know why. By experience they gain know how to overcome a problem, what to be done. This they do without knowing the root cause of the problem and why they are doing so. Hence, it becomes necessary to train them on knowing know why. Next, seventh pillar is the safety, health and environmental. Its target is zero accident, zero health damage and zero fires. In this area, focus in on to create a safe workplace and surrounding areas that is not damaged by our process or procedure. This pillar will play an active role in each of other pillars on regular basis. A committee is constituted for this pillar, which comprise respective of officers as well as workers. This committee is headed by senior vice president. Utmost important to safety is given in the plant. Manager is looking after function related to safety. To create awareness among employees, various competitions like safety slogan, quiz, drama, poster, etc. related to safety can be organized at regular intervals. Last one is the 8th pillar, Office TPM. Office TPM should be started after activating 4th other pillar of TPM. Office TPM must be followed to improve productivity, efficiency in the administrative function and identify the eliminating losses. This includes analyzing process and procedure towards increased office automation. Office TPM address 12 major losses. They are processing loss, cost loss increasing in area such as procurement, accounts, marketing, sales leading to high innovators, communication loss, idle loss, setup loss, accuracy loss, office equipment breakdown, communication channel breakdown, telephone and fax lines, time spent on retrieval of information, non-availability of correct on-line stock status, customer complaints due to logistics, expense on emergency dispatch or purchase. Now we are going to see about performance measure. Performance measures are required for the managers for managing an organization perfectly. To establish performance measures, we have to identify the process to be improved, to determine the process gains and losses, to compare the actual performance with the standard performance, to provide information for individual and team evaluation, to determine overall performance of the organization, to provide information for making proper decisions. We have to done these things. What should be measured? We have to measure the human resources, customers, production, research and development, suppliers, marketing and sales, administration. In human resource, we are going to measure the lost time due to accident, employees turnover, employee satisfaction index, training cost, employees, number of grievance. In customer, we are going to measure the number of complaints from customers, number of on-time deliveries, warranty data, dealer satisfaction, etc. In a production, we have to measure inventory, SPC chart, amount of scrap or rework, machine downtime, etc. In research and development area, we have to measure the new product time to market, design change orders, cost estimation errors, etc. In a supplier side, we have to know on-time delivery, service rating, quality performance, average lead time, etc. In a marketing and sales side, we have to measure sales expense to revenue, new product sales to total sale, new customers, etc. In an administration side, we have to concentrate on revenue per employees, purchase order error, billing accuracy and cost of poor quality. The next topic is control chart. Control chart is used to monitor a process to see if the process output is random. It helps to detect the presence of controllable causes of variation. It can also indicate when a problem occurred and give insight into what might have caused the problem. Control chart is most widely used tool in statistical process control. Control chart is a graph that display data taken over time and variation of this data. Control chart is based on series of random samples taken at regular intervals. The chart consists of 3 horizontal lines that remains constant over time. A central line, a lower control limit and the upper control limit. The central line is usually set a normal design value. The UCL and the LCL are generally set at plus or minus 3 standard deviation of the sample means. If the sample drawn from the process lie inside these limits, it means the process is in control. On the other hand, if the sample lies outside these limits, then the process is said to be out of control. So, appropriate corrective action is needed to eliminate the condition. Next is type of control chart. There are two basic control charts are available. One is variable for measurable data and other is characteristics for quantifiable data. Variable for measurable data such as time, length, temperature, weight, pressure, etc. And the quantifiable characteristics for quantifiable data such as number of defects in glass bottles, typing errors in report, etc. The last topic is the process capability. Process capability compares the output of an in-control process to a specification limit by using capability indices. The comparison is made by forming the ratio of spread between the process specification to the spread of the process values as measured by process standard deviation units. Thank you for watching the video.